Ladies, my fellow mommies, we are always so busy, on the go, kids screaming in the back seat, sleeping babies. I have the ultimate hack for you.
Welcome to the Stay Fit Mom Podcast with Krista and Tracy, your go-to girls for health, fitness, and keeping it real in mom life.
If you can't seem to get in a good groove with your nutrition and exercise program, this is for you.
We've coached thousands of women using macros for over 8 years, and I'm well known around here for my 5-day meal prep videos.
What does a macro balanced meal look like?
Hit subscribe to the Stay Fit Mom Podcast and join us for a fun, meaningful journey toward a healthier, happier you.
You got this, Mom.
Hey, everybody. I am joined with Coach Cassie, who is Krista's sister and also next door neighbor. And so this is going to feel like maybe an interview with Krista a little bit because I feel like you're kind of her mini.
I was going to say, by the way, little sister.
That's
Just
right.
kidding.
Younger.
I'm just kidding. I love saying I'm her younger sister.
Yeah. I've grown up with Cassie too. We've known each other since I was a freshman in high school. And Cassie, how old were you at that point? 5th grade?
I must have been, well, so if you were like 16, I was about 12. So yeah, maybe
Yeah.
6th grade.
Krista threw me a bridal shower and Cassie was the waitress for,
yes.
it was great.
We have pictures of that somewhere.
Yep. And it's like you're frozen in time for me, Cassie, a little bit in that regard. Like when you see kids and you're like, oh, they're just 8 years old forever. Then you see them when they're graduated. So before we started recording, Cassie's mothering and I'm like, oh, you are a mom and you are telling them what to do. And anyway, I just love you so much, Cassie. Thanks for agreeing to be on the podcast. I know that this is a big ask, but your story is absolutely incredible. And you are not the one to be like, let me tell my story. It's just so inspirational, but you are. And so the theme of this season, Cassie, is the woman I want to become. And I see that in your story so much. I don't want to give too much away, but you're amazing. So that's who I think you are. But you tell us about who you are, your life, your role at Stay Fit Mom, your day job, and your season of mothering.
Okay. I just have to say, when you were telling the coaches, this is the theme of our podcast this season, and I want to throw in some of the coaches in the episodes. And I read through the message and I was like, I don't got to worry about that. I remember thinking, I'm not going to be on it, so I'm fine.
And
so
you
when
were
you
my
asked me, I was
first
like,
ask.
oh, I'm happy to be here. Okay. Yeah. Like you said, I'm a coach for Stay Fit Mom. I have done that since 2020. So it's been a bit. I am a mom. I have 3 kids. Lexi is 11, Ty is 8, and Court is 5. I have been married for 14 years
Wow.
to my husband, Adam. We're both born and raised in Vegas. So we have a lot of family here. And we met at a church thing when we were in our early 20s. And let's see. So my day job, I am an ultrasound tech. I've done that for about 14 years. I work for an OBGYN here in town, a big corporation. I do ultrasounds there 3 days a week. And then I coach kind of as a part-time gig. And what else? Let's see. I'm in a really fun season, I feel like, with my kids. They're getting older. I'm out of the baby stage. It's great. This is my season of motherhood that I have enjoyed the most. My daughter's 11 and she's at a fun age. She's my mini me. And so I feel like as she's getting older, she's becoming more of my friend and it's just so fun. And yeah, since my youngest is going to start kindergarten, he's out of the baby stage. It's a little bit more fun for us to go on outings as a family and they're in sports, activities. It's a good season. I love to CrossFit. I love to read. I'm in the funnest book club ever. And I get together with my girlfriends once a month for that. It's a lot of fun. I love it. I'm pretty involved in my church. I stay busy with that. And yeah, we spend a lot of time with my husband's family and mine, especially now that we're neighbors. So it's great.
What a full life. I love it. And you're moved into your beautiful new house right next door to Krista. And she has a basement, which I think is the coolest thing, especially in the Vegas hot summers.
Yes.
It's funny that you didn't think that I would ask you. You were literally the first person that popped into my head with this theme. But I feel like Krista is a little bit the same in this way, which is funny because Krista is this big time influencer with all these followers. But if you know her personally, she does not like the spotlight. And I feel like, see, you're that way too. You're so happy to be in the background, but also just fun personality. I've always thought that about you, just super fun to be around. Okay. So take us back a little bit. What was your health and weight journey? What has it looked like over the years? Because I know that there's been seasons where you felt like you've been far from your healthiest self. But now, Cassie, I look at you and think she's thriving.
Yeah, it's been a little all over the place, ups and downs. It's funny, I still feel like I'm far from where I would want to be, but no, I definitely, the last 6 months to a year, I have felt the best I have felt in, gosh, since I was 20 or before that, when I was in out of high school even. I feel great. And it's been up and down for sure. But I've done it all. I've done the Atkins diet, the protein diet. It's not what they called it back then. Clean eating, fit for life. I've counted calories. I've done Whole30. And then I did macros for the first time in 2000. I want to say it was 16, but maybe it was 17. The very first group that you guys coached, I was in that. And so ever since I did that in the beginning, I have never looked back. I've always done macros since then, and I just knew that's what I wanted to do because I felt my best when tracking and eating high protein and eating well balanced. I've always loved exercise. My mom taught us that when we were young, and she would always go to the gym, and she made exercise a priority in her life. And so I always loved that as well. Like I said, I felt my best this last year. And that is because I've been doing macros and I started a GLP-1 about a year ago. So those two together have been great for me.
We're going to dive more into that specifically because it has been really amazing to watch. Cassie also checks in online every single week in our Facebook group. And so that's just fun to watch your progress from afar. What do you think is your biggest non scale victory, Cassie, for you most recently?
So one of them is probably pretty, I don't know, typical of someone to say, but just feeling more confident and my clothes fitting better and just feeling, yeah, better overall. What's the saying? It's something like confidence isn't walking into a room and feeling better than everybody else, but it's walking into a room and not caring what everybody thinks or
Oh,
not seeking validation from everybody. And I feel like that has been the biggest one for me. I don't compare myself to others as much, and I just have a lot more confidence. So that one's big. And then the other one is in the gym. So I'm not an elite CrossFitter by any means, and I will never be. I'm usually one of the last people to finish a workout, but that's okay. And lately, I just feel like the gym is even more fun. I've always loved doing CrossFit, but it's so much more fun when you are a little bit lighter, when you can run and do pull ups, and I can string pull ups together. I never was able to do that. And burpees are a whole new world now. So it's just been a lot more fun in the gym. And then the last one is I have muscle that I can see. I've never seen muscle on my body. And I know it's always been there, but it's just been covered up by fat. Muscles in my arms or just whatever. And it's cool to see how strong I really am. So that's been a good one.
Cassie, one of the coolest things about you, at least from the outside looking in, you've had a range of different weights. And I felt like you've always been super confident. I feel like you are the epitome of not comparing yourself to others. You've never done that, or at least you have fought so hard against that. And so I've always been like, oh, you want Cassie as a coach because she can just empathize with having other people pass you by, it feels like. Anyway, I don't know if you want to speak anything to those kind of feelings.
Yeah, I guess I've never struggled with self-confidence, but you still just kind of have it in the back of your mind. You're the chubby friend or just everyone around you is more fit than you, which I don't know. It never got me down, but I just think that as I have gotten stronger and just seen what my body can do, I just don't care as much about that.
That's so cool. Like, that's not the case for you anymore in terms of walking to a room and feeling like I'm the chubby friend. You're looking so, so good, Cassie. Would never
Thanks.
think that. Okay, tell us what coaches you've worked with at Stay Fit Mom.
Oh, okay. Let's see. You were my first coach when we did that very first group.
I was?
Yeah, it wasn't very long. It was probably 6 or 8 weeks.
Okay.
But I remember you telling Krista, I'm taking Cassie. So you were my coach first. I just remember that. Then I had Krista from about 2016 until 2024.
Wow.
So years and years, because I did macros before, after, during all my pregnancies. So that was a long chunk of time. And then Coach Laura, I started with her in 2024-ish. And I had her for about a year. And then when she stopped coaching, I went to Chelsea. So I've just been with her a few months, not very long.
I love that you've had the experience of all these different coaches. What kind of feedback do you have on that?
It's definitely, I loved it. They all have their strengths. And I think with Krista, it's my sister. So she was like, okay, good job, but you can do better. I'm increasing your protein because you can handle it, which was good. And then,
A little more tough love from Krista for
yeah.
sure.
And then I remember Laura, the very first week I checked in, you know how we ask, is your tracker up to date? I was like, no, I don't use my tracker. And she's like, well, you do now. She was like, you are using your tracker and your fiber sucks. So I'm like, Krista never made me do fiber as much as you do. But anyway, yeah, Laura was great. She just always knew what to say. I know that sounds so cliche, but
No, that's a
she,
tough thing to do, to blend the truth in love and encouragement. That's a gift for sure.
yes, she was great. And then Chelsea, I love her, same. And she knows me too. So she's like, okay, you have a girls' night this weekend. So what? You can still hit your goal of 5 out of 7 this week.
The theme. These coaches are making you get after it, which I love. I think that's great. Everybody wants a goal and we know you can hit it. And so raising the bar. Let's just talk about autoimmune. So, one of the things on our coach's bio, Cassie writes that she has Hashimoto's and you also have lupus. And we're going to talk about both of those things today. But we have so many clients that request you, that will message in and say, I want Cassie to be my coach because you have these autoimmune issues that you've dealt with for so long. So, for people that don't know what those are, give us the basics.
Like you said, I have Hashimoto's. So that is an autoimmune disorder where basically your immune system mistakenly attacks your thyroid gland. And your thyroid gland affects your energy, metabolism, your mood, your body temperature, your heart rate. And when your immune system is attacking your thyroid gland over time, it damages it and it can stop working. So mine is basically non existent. It doesn't work the way it should. So when your thyroid stops working, that leads to hypothyroid. So Hashimoto's usually leads to hypothyroid and can cause hypothyroid. So I have that as well. And when you have hypothyroid, your whole body can slow down and your immune system can attack other places. So when you have one autoimmune disorder, you are prone to having others. And I have lupus as well. So there's 4 types of lupus. I have the most common one. It has a really long name, but it is abbreviated as SLE. And this one attacks multiple systems, mainly kidneys, joints, your skin, your heart, and your blood. And the thing about lupus is it's different for everybody, and everybody has different symptoms and deals with different things. But for me, mine is mostly inflammation in my joints, specifically my knees, like stiffness and joint pain. That's the main thing I deal with, and just real extreme tiredness and fatigue. And with autoimmune disorders, what you kind of deal with is flare ups. So you can feel great for months at a time, and then you can have a flare up and feel crappy for weeks at a time or even months. So, yeah, in a nutshell, that's what it is.
Obviously, this has impacted your health journey, also impacted your weight, right? Would you say that Hashimoto's has
Yeah.
impacted your weight? Okay.
Yes, definitely slows progress. I think it has impacted my health journey, obviously for the bad, but also I can say for the good. I still have so much more that I want to accomplish with my health, or I still have weight to lose. But now that I am getting to the other side, I can say it has affected me for the good as well. I have a few clients that I can relate to so well because their progress is just so slow. And I always am like, I know it sucks and I know that you're frustrated. I totally get it. But it's almost better this way because you're working so much harder than some of these other women. And the harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. So I know it sucks, but when you get to the other side, the reward is better.
I was having a conversation with another woman earlier this week, and she was just like, I'm so frustrated because it's the end of the year and she's a homeschool teacher. So Chick-fil-A is having a teacher come to Chick-fil-A and you can get gift cards, and she's macro tracking. And she's like, and my husband, he can just eat whatever he wants. And he's taking all my gift cards and he's getting the free slushies. And she's so mad. And I was just thinking, even though he's not struggling, like you might look at his weight and think, oh, he's great, he's healthy. But just because he's getting away with it now doesn't mean that's good for him. And you are struggling through this and sticking to eating macro balanced and high protein and hitting your fiber. All that is yielding you so much good. And it just made me think of what you said. Having it go slow and having it all take longer forces you to do these habits early on. And that's going to save your life down the road one day, which, as frustrating as it is, we all just want this to be the easy button, done. But then what? Then you just go back to eating whatever. And it's just to say that weight gain is usually a symptom, a side effect of other issues that are going on. And so some people just don't experience that, but they still have these health issues going on. So, was there ever a point where you felt frustrated or defeating trying to do all the right things and still struggled? And what mindset shifts have helped you the most through those seasons?
Yes. Yes. I felt that frustration for years. I tracked my macros right after my first, and then until I got pregnant with my second. And then I had gestational diabetes with my second. And so what they do for you is they set you up an appointment with a diabetes counselor and they sit you down and they give you this food pyramid and they teach you how to count your macros. And I was just sitting there listening to her and she would ask me questions. Do you know what this is? Give me an example of what you should eat for breakfast. And I would tell her a perfectly well balanced meal. And she's, okay, so it sounds like you know what you're doing. But it was macros, and I had already been doing that. And so I counted my macros for years throughout the pregnancies and after. And I can honestly say, after I had my last, I was hitting my numbers 6 out of 7 days, 7 out of 7 days, and I would lose a pound a month, not even maybe.
Mm.
And I just remember feeling like, what is the point? Progress is so slow. Why am I wasting my time? There's got to be something else wrong. This just isn't working for me. What are the chances that I'm just one of those people that it just doesn't work? And I think what helped me have a mindset shift was the time's going to pass anyway. You might as well keep going. In 6 months, it's not going to be 30 pounds, but at least it'll hopefully be 4. So might as well keep going. And I'll be so glad I just kept going when bigger chunks of time have passed.
Would you be up for sharing maybe your weight at your highest and what your weight is right now?
Before I got pregnant, I was probably 165 pounds.
And how tall are you?
160 pounds. I'm 5'3". And then, yeah, after I had Lexi, I weighed 195. And I think I lost about maybe 15, 20 pounds in 2.5 years when I got pregnant again with Ty. And then, same thing, I lost about 20 of the pounds and then I got pregnant again. And I counted my macros my entire pregnancy with Court because I was determined to not have gestational diabetes again with that last pregnancy because I wanted to prove a point to my doctor. And he was my boss. He told me, you're going to have it again. I think he told me my chances of having it again were like more than 60%. And I was like, no, I'm not going to. And so I tracked my macros and I would check my sugars, and I didn't have it with the third. So then after I had Court, he's my youngest, same thing. After I'd say postpartum, I was like 195. And right now I weigh 152.
Okay. So you're almost at that 50-pound mark. You're so close.
Yes.
Wow. You have told me this story before, but I feel like everybody needs to hear it because GLP-1s have been revolutionary for you, Cassie. And I know that it's such a controversial topic. Still, people are all over the board when it comes to opinions on this. So it might be hard to share, but you were one of the naysayers before you tried it. You were hesitant to try it. Can you tell us why?
So a few things. One is I thought that it was just a fad. I was like, it'll just blow over. I don't need to waste my time learning about it. So that was my main thing, is I was like, I'm not going to concern myself with things that don't matter to me. Because I also didn't think that I was going to be coaching women that were doing it. And so I also didn't feel like I needed to worry about it. The next is just I didn't know much about it. At the time, I didn't know people that were doing it. And also, it was expensive, and I thought, "This doesn't fit in my budget, so I'm never gonna be taking that." So, I just thought it was for celebrities, and then once I started learning more about it, and I had talked to my rheumatologist, which is my lupus doctor, and I was like, "Just tell me what you think. Would this be a good idea?" And he was like, "Yes." He said, "It's an anti-inflammatory drug, and I think that it would only help you, especially with your knees." And so I started thinking about it, and then I just saw Krista and how successful she was on it, because her and I are the same as far as weight loss, timing, and progress. Her progress is slow as well. And so saw her succeed with it, and I'm like, why not? And by this time, I think she was on it the whole year before I considered it. And by then it was just more accessible. And so it actually was something that I could do. And yeah, I thought, why not?
I do remember you telling me the story of your coworkers, though.
Yeah, so I would say it was still new-ish, and not a lot of people were doing it that I know of. Now you learn all these people that are just secretly doing it because everybody's like ashamed and doesn't want to say it. And so anyway, it was still pretty new, and because of where I work, it was easily accessible, and we could get our providers to prescribe it to us. And so a lot of my coworkers were on it, and I swear every other week I was like, oh my gosh, looking so good. They're losing weight so quickly. And then I'd find out they were on the shot. And I'm like, okay. So everyone around me at work was just losing weight. And I'm over here not eating the food that they're bringing at work and all these lunches that the drug reps are bringing. And I'm sticking to my macros religiously and losing a pound a month. And two of my coworkers, we were like, we are never going to do that. And so we made a pact with each other that we weren't going to do the weight loss shot. And finally, when I had decided that I was going to do it, my first thing is I was like, oh, what is my coach going to think? What is Laura going to say? Is she going to be disappointed in me? And I had talked to her about it at the retreat, and she, of course, was so supportive. And she was the first person that I was nervous to tell. And then the other two people I was nervous to tell were those coworkers that I had made the pact with. And so I finally had told them one day, okay, I decided to do it. And they were like, oh, well, good, because we've been on it for 2 months. So I was like, okay, there's that.
Oh, and they did not feel apparently the need to share that with you, but
Yeah.
you were like, I'm a woman of integrity and I've got to tell these
Yes. To a
women.
fault.
I think it's great and it speaks so much of your character. And I will just say, I think that GLP-1s get a bad rep because you just see people using it like the easy button, or you assume that's what it means. Oh, you're just taking this so you won't eat food and your hair is going to fall out, which I mean is happening to some people for sure.
Yeah.
But like, look at your situation specifically, everything you're dealing with, your autoimmune and chronic inflammation. And it's just been such a game changer for you. And I remember Krista, when she was on it, saying, I just really want Cassie to do it. I think that it would be so incredible for her. And she was right. It's been a great move for you.
I thought of one more thing. I
Okay.
didn't want people to think that was the first thing that I tried. And it's so dumb. Who cares what people think? But I wanted people to know, no, I've been tracking my macros and I still do. I'm not just doing the shot and taking the easy way out. I never had that mindset like, oh, I'm just going to do the shot and then I won't have to eat. No, it was more like, I want to use this tool so that I can finally lose weight that reflects my hard work instead of just super turtle slow. Now I lose weight at the same rate as at the average woman.
Mhm.
I didn't lose 40 pounds in 3 months. It's been over a year. It's been 14 months for what it's worth.
So tell us, what is it like tracking macros with this
Oh,
shot, eating food on a GLP-1? How is that experience different?
so it's not drastically different. I still have to fight for hitting my macros. It's not just, oh, this is so easy now. I still log my food, track my macros. I aim for hitting those numbers. And now I'm not constantly, oh, okay, should I use this day as my non track day? Should I? The food noise that everybody talks about is a thing. And I'm not constantly having to think about being hungry. I can be in a deficit without the mental struggle of it. Like a mental load was lifted once I started doing it. It was like, oh, okay, I just have a clearer mind, I feel like, when it comes to tracking and hitting my numbers.
So do you feel like in addition to it making you less hungry overall, so like you can just sustain a cut for a longer period of time, I'm assuming is how you would put it.
Yeah.
What other physical benefits do you feel from it?
I would say inflammation for sure.
And when you say that, what do you mean by that? Like less bloated?
No, for me, it's in my joints and my knees specifically. Walking without my knees feeling so inflamed and stiff, basically.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So if you're not taking a GLP-1, maybe it would be like if you're on ibuprofen and you sprain your ankle and you take ibuprofen and suddenly you're like, "Oh, I can move it again." Similar feeling, maybe?
It's more of like gradually over time, but yeah, you could say that. I do take medication for my lupus. I take immune suppressant drugs that help with inflammation that are stronger in that sense. I don't take the GLP-1 for my lupus. It helps, but for the anti-inflammatory, that aspect, I am on medication for that, more specifically for my lupus. And then the GLP-1 just helps that.
Yeah, in addition to.
In addition, yes.
And I forgot to even mention this, but a lot of people try to manage Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism on their own without medication, but you have never done that, right? Tell us about that journey.
So, yes and no. I have done Whole30 before. I got diagnosed with Hashimoto's when I was like 20, and I didn't start macros until I was like 25. So, yeah, for those 5 years, I tried to just eat clean and do Whole30 and all that. And my levels would be okay. And then the next time I'd go, they'd be abnormal again. For me, no. And I couldn't do that forever. And I wanted my levels to be regulated. I didn't want to keep being all over the place. And so I pretty much started taking medication for my thyroid soon after I was diagnosed with that. And then with lupus, same thing. When I got diagnosed, that was in the beginning of 2021. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just have to eat dairy free, gluten free. I just can't live my life anymore. I was like, life as I know it is over, and I have to be on this crazy diet forever. And so I had convinced myself that's what I had to do. And I had done a deep dive on the internet. And then I had talked to people about it that had it, and I had just calmed down a little bit. And then I went back to, I know how to eat balanced and eat vegetables and eat fiber and eat the way that we were meant to. So I just continued to count my macros. So I did go on medication shortly after I was diagnosed with lupus. And then after a couple years, I had seen a different doctor, and he was like, I think you can go off the medication. I think you can try it and see how it goes. And so I was all for it. And I'm like, okay, great. Because I don't want to be on more medication. I don't need to. And so I did that. And a few months later, it was bad. My joints were just terrible and the pain was too bad. And so I was glad I tried it because then it just confirmed to me, like, okay, this isn't the quality of life that I want. I don't want to be able to not walk down the stairs or do the things that I want to do or exercise or lift weights. And so
Mhm.
I started back on it, and then I have continued to take medication and probably always will.
I just think about your story, Cassie, and I know it's been so frustrating because you've done all the right things. And it's just amazing to me that you're like, lupus, and I want to be able to lift weights. You would think that people would just be like, forget it. I just can't. And you have persevered through that. And I feel like it's only been to your benefit that you kept doing those things despite having all these obstacles in front of you. So you're amazing. I
Thank
really
you.
do think that. And then anything else you want to say to people that might be considering a GLP-1 but just feels ashamed, confused, or conflicted about it?
Ultimately, it's your decision. You do what's best for you, and who cares what people think. But I do have to say, the gentleman who was doing the podcast with you,
Dr. Jake?
yes. I love how he said macros before meds. And that's what I tell my girls that I coach. If I've been your coach for a while and I know that you're consistent and you hit your numbers and progress is just not happening, and they ask me about starting a GLP-1, I am like, you know what? I think it might be a good tool for you. But when I have the girls who just don't hit their macros and aren't consistent and they ask my opinion about doing it, I tell them, look, how about you try really hitting your numbers first for a few months and then see. If you can't put in that full effort right now, you're not going to either when you're on the shot. It's not just going to magically improve your consistency. The consistency still has to be there before you start doing it. And
And
yeah,
it might decrease your like,
yeah,
it might be even harder to hit your protein.
yes, for sure. And I do have to say, before I started on the shot, like I said, I was hitting my numbers 6 out of 7, 7 out of 7. And now I don't have to do that. My goal is usually about 5 out of 7. And that has been a whole new world. Just being able to have those 2 days where I don't have to track as diligently is
Mhm.
like, wow. So, yeah, my consistency has been a little bit different than before, but I had that foundation that I could fall back on. I had that consistency there already.
Yeah, you didn't have to start and learn about this whole nutrition program
Yes.
while you were doing it. Why is protein and muscle preservation so important when someone is losing weight, especially women?
Yeah, muscles help more than just looking strong, right? Having more muscle mass helps with metabolism, your blood sugar regulation, of course, strength, mobility, bone support, and you want to maintain that and build muscle as we get older. And if you don't have enough muscle mass, then your body is more likely to break down. And so you want to preserve that as you get older. And I know everybody says, I don't want to just be skinny, but really, I don't want to just be skinny. I want to be strong and I want to have muscle and I want to be able to squat when I'm older and be able to go on hikes and just live a fulfilled life. I do love exercise and I want to be able to do that forever and not just lose some weight and feel skinny.
And I love how you mentioned blood sugar regulation. The more muscle mass you have, the better your body can tolerate insulin. And all of those things are independent of how you look in the mirror or what clothes you fit in. Those are things that your body just needs as you age. You are working at a women's health center and you see women all the time, all walks of life. So, as someone who's working at a facility like that, do you think that the average woman is educated about nutrition, hormones, metabolism, aging? Why or why not? What are you seeing with the trends of the women that you see?
I do work at a OBGYN and I have been in women's health for years and years. I work with healthcare providers that are experts at this. Most women, no, they are not properly educated about their health in general, especially nutrition and their hormones. Now, what I was struggling to come up with an answer with this is why aren't they? I don't know. I think because I see the providers come out of medical school and PA school. We have, gosh, over 15 providers. And I honestly think that they don't teach it in school. I don't think that they are learning about women's health. And I think a lot of providers, understandably, are just scared to practice it. I think that there are specialists out there, of course, who do specialize in that sort of thing and in hormones and perimenopause and stuff. But I think that just your general provider with family practice, they can't give advice or give suggestions because they just don't know. I think it's starting to evolve and people are starting to learn more about it. But Gen X and the boomers before us, that wasn't something that we learned about or tried to learn about.
Okay, then
Yeah.
I'll ask this question to you because this intrigues me. Do you feel like you cook differently for your kids than your mom did for you?
I do a lot of the same things my mom does, but I definitely try to give my kids more protein than my mom ever did. But other than that, it's pretty similar.
I just was thinking about us growing up versus kids growing up today. And maybe that this is just because I'm in the nutrition field and I'm talking about it all the time with my kids, but some of the crazy diets that we did as teens.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. So, not necessarily the cooking, but just the talk around nutrition.
Yeah. And just like,
For
you know,
sure.
if Lexi one day came to you and was like, Mom, I want to lose 15 pounds. Can you imagine being like, okay, we are going to fast for 2 weeks?
We're going to wake up at 6 o'clock, cook eggs and bacon, and eat half a grapefruit. I remember doing that with my oldest sister, Tiana. I would wake up at 4:30 in the morning and cook us breakfast so that we could have our high protein, low carb food. Oh my gosh, that is terrible. No, I would never.
It's just funny. Now we have so much more information, but I do think that the general public probably doesn't. And it just kills me a little inside when I see teenage girls that just have no clue what they're doing. And they're like, I'm just not going to eat this week.
Yeah.
Krista and I did a whole episode on that week before homecoming when we were like, guess we're just not eating this week. We're going to fit in our dress. It'll be interesting as Lexi gets into her teenage years. And Krista hasn't dealt with this with McKenna yet, but I've got an almost 15-year-old girl and she'll say, Mom, I think I need to start tracking my macros. She's like, I'm almost ready. She doesn't have a phone yet, which is in itself an anomaly. She's the only person at her school that
I
doesn't have
love
one.
it.
But I'm like, you need to not eat the garbage that they serve that your friends are eating because the meals that she's eating here, she'll be fine. But then they go to
There's
school
no
and they
way.
just, yeah.
We did their fifth grade, what do they call it? Maturation talk or
Oh,
whatever.
yes. Yes.
And she comes home and she's like, I can't eat that with her chips, with her sandwich. She's like, I need to be healthy. I need to eat more vegetables and all this. And I'm like, I've been telling you that for years. And now you're going to do that. Now you want to listen because your teacher told you. But
That's fine. Yeah.
anyways,
Just let her be like, remember your
yeah.
teacher told you this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let her down. It's funny. Oh man. Okay. How do you think walking through Hashimoto's, lupus, weight loss struggles, and now this season with GLP-1s has made you a better coach? Because I think people are going to listen to this episode and start emailing in. Give me Cassie. I just love her. I'm telling you, they do. And that's one of the reasons I love having the coaches on these episodes because you just get this very clear personal look into who they are. But how has it helped you as a coach?
Shout out to all my clients. I just can relate to more people now that I have had to deal with different struggles. And something that I loved that Krista would tell me when I was first tracking my macros and when my progress would be slow, and she would say, I have slow progress too. And so that's kind of what I tend to do is I sometimes give my girls just a kick in the butt and I'm like, I know it sucks and I know it's not fair. I know that you have to hit 7 out of 7 to get progress instead of the 5 out of 7 or the 4 out of 7 that some women have to get. And I know it's harder and it's not fair, but you got to do it. So I think I can just relate to them. And I never wanted my Hashimoto's to be an excuse for not succeeding. And so I try to do that with my girls too. Don't let it be your excuse, but you got to work a little harder, unfortunately.
I love what you said earlier about it actually benefiting you because you have more grit, you have
Yeah.
more perseverance. The victory is sweeter. The victory is sweeter.
Yes.
That's what you said. Oh, love it. Okay, if you could leave women with one message about taking care of themselves and becoming the women they want to be, what would it be?
This makes me think of when my kids were babies or little, and Adam used to work a lot of weekends, and he still does, but not as much as when our kids were little. And when you're at home with the babies and they're toddler and a baby, and you're just feel stuck at home all the time, and your kids aren't in activities yet, and you're not taking them places. And I just remember being like, I want to be a fun mom. I want to be a mom that takes their kids to the park. And so what did I do? I started taking them to the park. So if you want to be someone who lifts weights and squats, then do it. Make it happen. If you want to be someone who drinks their body weight in water every day, then do it. Then drink your body weight in water every day. Or if you want to eat more protein, then make it happen.
If you wanna be that woman, then you gotta put the work in.
Yeah.
Before we wrap it up, Cassie is our avid
Oh,
book reader.
I
I wanna
missed.
know the top books that you have read, maybe ever, Cassie, because 'cause you're such
Oh,
a reader, and I would consider myself a new fiction reader. I've always been, like, nonfiction, and lately, I have just been like, "I'm not reading nonfiction, I'm only reading fiction now," because I just go on these phases, but I am loving it. I feel like it's healing my brain, Cassie.
yes. Totally. If you want to be a girl who reads, read. Just kidding. If you want to be a girl who
I'm so well
reads,
read.
then get a library card. Okay, I have to say that. I love the library. Free books, because people are like, reading can be expensive. No, just
Mm-mm. There's so
request
many
a book, and then they'll email you when it's ready to be picked up, and you go pick it up. Anyway,
and there's so many in there. You could spend your whole life reading book after book in
I
there.
know, and sometimes I feel overwhelmed because my TBR list is so long.
I do love the vibe of the library, though. I think just having a big
Yes.
family and walking in there, the smell, I can
Uh,
smell it.
I just went in today and just the smell of it, I was like, "Oh, it just."
I know. Do your
Yes.
kids love it too? Do they go with you, or are you like, "I'm
Yes.
leaving them at home"?
No, I take them, but not every time. We'll go and just get a bunch and then bring them home, and Lexi's been into reading. She has to for school, of course, but she
On her own
is
accord?
reading Harry Potter, and
Oh,
so
you've made it
I think
as a parent
she's
when your
I
kids get
know.
home.
I've been waiting for this day. I think she's on the 4th one now,
Okay.
but I'm hoping she continues now that she doesn't have to, but okay, I made a list of my favorite books in 2025, 26.
Okay, let's hear them. 'em. I'm writing these down.
Okay, and I have different genres. I have always been more of a fiction lover for sure. The last 5 years or so, I've been liking fantasy. So, my favorite fiction books that's not fantasy for the last couple years. Okay, of course, Project Hail Mary. Have you heard of that? I'm sure.
I've heard of it, but I haven't read it.
Okay, great. It's
Is
great.
that's
That
the
is
movie that's
one.
out, right?
Yes, that is one I suggest actually listening to. I Yeah, I listened to it, and the Audible, great, 10 out of 10.
Okay.
But usually I read my books rather than listen, but that one I suggest listening. Okay, the next one is The Correspondent.
Oh, you are like the 10th person. I need to read this.
It's Love it. It's cute. It's just a feel good. Yeah. I got it for my mom and mother-in-law for Mother's Day.
Oh, great idea. Love it.
And then, okay, this wasn't my favorite book, but I just recently read it and I enjoyed it. The Wedding People.
Never heard of it.
I just really liked the author's sense of humor. It's a little bit weird humor, but I liked it. Okay,
Okay.
so let's see. I love memoirs. My favorite ones, Elizabeth Smart.
Oh my gosh, I remember her story
It will
and
change
like
your
I
life. I know it's old. That's an old
well, no, I
story,
remember
but
growing up and just being so sad for that was when we were growing up. Kat, do you remember her story when you were growing up?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So
Okay,
read her
that's another
memoir.
one. That's another one I
Okay.
suggest listening.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, Andre Agassi, his was great. Matthew
Oh,
Perry,
from Las Vegas. Okay.
yeah. Matthew Perry's book, great. And then my favorite memoir is by Jeanette McCurdy. Do you remember her? She was in iCarly.
I don't know who
It's
that is.
called I'm Glad My Mother Died.
Oh.
That one is really good. Okay, fantasy. Silver Elite. So that's the first book. The second book is Broken Dove. It just came out and I'm hoping to start it tonight. I'm hosting book club in June and that's the book. So I got to read it so that I can think of fun stuff for book club.
You need to just tell us really quick about your book club because I've just seen the tags on social media and you guys have gone viral a few times.
Yeah, we have over 2 million views on one of our reels.
If I wanted to start a book club just like yours, what would I have to do?
Find a few friends. First, we started with 6 people and we just met at my friend Bree's house. And she had sent out, this is the book we're going to read. And yeah, we read it, we met up, and we just had some food.
Themed for the book or no?
I think
Well, like-
so. A couple months ago, the book took place in Ireland, I think. I can't remember. And the girl who hosted had looked up online food they eat in Ireland. And so she had stuff like that. Or, yeah, we'll just kind of tie in parts of the book. I think this time I'm going to do because I have to make everything a competition. I'm doing like trivia from the book.
Oh,
And,
fun.
yeah. And I'll do prizes and stuff.
What's
But
the
we
second one
just,
called?
Broken Dove.
And that's your book club. That's the June book.
Yes, this series is a little spicy, just
Okay.
FYI. I do have to say really quick about book club. What I love about it is that she invited 5 of her closest friends and then had them bring somebody. And so
Okay.
it's people that I would never be friends with. I would have probably never met. And so it's fun to get to know people that are different than you and just, in
Yeah.
different stages of life. One of our women is in her 50s.
Amazing.
So, yeah, it's great. Okay, last ones. I said the only nonfiction I read is memoirs, but that's not true. I've been listening to parenting books. Have you read Anxious Generation?
I had a friend say it's like the Bible and Anxious Generation. That's how up there
So
they
it's
put.
really long, and a lot of it's
Mhm.
repetitive, to be honest, but it was great.
And you listened to it, you said.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all about how to raise kids that aren't anxious around social media and cell phones and all that. And
So
then,
lots of meat and potato takeaways in that book. Like you're
yeah,
doing stuff from that book with your kids because you read that book. It's changed you.
yeah,
Okay.
for sure. And it's more of Lexi's getting to be that age, but my other kids are young, and so they're not even near the age of cell phones. But yes, for the future, for
Mhm.
sure.
Okay.
But yes, it's just confirmed. Yeah, I'm like, nope, you're not getting a cell phone for middle school. Oh, free range kids. That's more for younger kids.
Okay. I passed my prime
Yeah,
there. Okay. But that's good to know for the younger listeners.
yeah.
Okay. That's
So
your
if I had
full
to pick
one.
one out of all those,
Okay.
ooh, they're just also different. Okay, hold on. That's not even on that list, but I would say because I didn't read it within the last year, so I didn't put it on there. But the Throne
Okay.
of Glass series, have you heard of
Is that
that? I'm sure.
fantasy? That's
Yeah,
fantasy. I
it's the same author as the ACOTAR.
okay.
Throne
Like
of
the
Glass
silver.
is way better than ACOTAR. Is a court of thorns and roses. It's like,
Oh, yes, Court of Thorns. I've heard that.
yes. So it's the same author. She wrote Throne of Glass, and there's 7, I'm pretty sure 7 books in the Throne of Glass. That is the best.
Better
So
than the
if you're,
Court of Thorns.
yes. So if you're looking for a series you want to start or fantasy, Throne of Glass.
I'm such a historical fiction
Wait,
kind
have
of
you
girl.
tried it
No,
or
I
no?
haven't.
Okay, I
Okay,
used
the
to love
only
historical fiction. It was my favorite, but now I don't know. I was reading. They all
too
start to
many of
get
them.
insane.
They do. That's why I was like, I gotta branch out. You know what I'm reading right now, Cassie, is Creatures. What the fuck
Oh,
is it?
Remarkably Bright Creatures.
Yes. Have you read that one?
Yes, and I just watched the movie.
Oh, okay. There's a movie. That's exciting.
Yeah, they just released it on Netflix like a week or 2 ago. It was cute.
Okay.
It's with the what's the lady's name? She was the mom in Miss Doubtfire.
Sally Fields. Yeah. Oh, fun.
That's a cute book.
You gotta read Theo of Golden Girl. It is so good.
I just got it for my birthday from my friend, and I'm reading another book right now, and so I gave it to my mom because she just said today, I need a book. So I gave her that one. She's reading it right now, and then I'll read it after I finish the one I'm reading right now.
I would put it in the same category as Correspondent.
Oh, okay.
Even though I haven't read that, I just based on what you said, feel good. It's so good. I actually had a friend that was like, we're having a book club tomorrow on Theo of Golden. Would you like to come? And I knew not a single person there except her. And I was like, yeah, I do want to come because I need to process this with other people that have read it. It was just like how you explained. Oh, these are people that have such different views than me on life, and they saw it so differently than me. And it was a really cool experience. It was awesome. But she was like next level host, had the wine that he talked about in the book. And she had like, it was Portugal is where the main character is from. And so it was very intimidating. I'm like, I'm a paper plate meal
Well,
prep
and
girl.
some girls in our club go all out, and then others just have some snacks. And one last time, she was like, "It's a TJ PJ party." So we wore PJs, and then she had snacks from Trader Joe's.
Oh, that's such a cute theme idea.
Yeah, and that was
Okay, I'm
it.
feeling
And it was great.
inspired. I'm feeling so inspired. Okay. Cassie, I think that this might be my favorite interview so far that I've done. And I've done a few of them. I think everyone's going to love it. It's so
Okay, well,
good.
good, because I feel like I was boring.
No, you were not boring. I don't think.
Okay.
I think it was great. Anything about your house you want to share? What's it like living right next door to Krista? Is it frustrating because she's finished with her whole dang house and you're not? Is there a little of that real on here? It's
Oh,
okay.
yes, for sure. Yes, at times. I just have to remind myself that it's fine. We're on no time crunch,
That's
and
right.
we can just do it as our budget allows and as time.
You
But
have the
we're
rest
constantly
of your
doing
life.
stuff. Yeah, we're working on projects all the time, and it's really fun. I started tiling the boys' bathroom by
Oh,
myself.
yes. I saw that
And
picture.
yeah, it's just so fun. I love it. And it's great living next door to family. And my mom and dad, it's just so fun. My parents, so they live in the back of Krista's house. And in order for them to get to their house, they have to drive through our backyard. We have a road in the back. So it's so fun. They drive through on the back of our lot and they wave. And when they see us, because we have big windows into our kitchen.
Oh,
And yeah, we were out swimming tonight. And my dad just drove by and the kids are like, "Hi, Grandpa." It's fun.
it's the best. It sounds
Yeah,
like best life ever.
it is.
Memories. All right, I'm letting you go. Get back to your family in that above ground pool. Have a blast. Thank you all for listening to the Stay Fit Mom podcast. I hope that you love this interview as much as I did. Cassie, you are a gem. You are the woman I want to become in so many ways, Cassie. Love you and see you soon.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
We appreciate you tuning in to the Stay Fit Mom podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. Connect with us on social media and head to stayfitmom.com for more resources and tips. You've got this. See you next time.